Anne, stepping into new tasks, bluntly states that hiring senior interns is just to give other colleagues a glimpse of a real-life example. Subtitles. So, don't hold any hope that she will assign him any real work, as she even intends to transfer the elderly man to a department with a slower pace. However, Anne had absolutely no idea. The underestimated old man before us will turn his life around. Old Ben was a printing factory's GM. His wife passed away years ago. His kids enjoyed family life, leaving him alone. Retirement was like bland, tepid water. Old Ben spent his days doing tai chi and taking walks to kill time, but this dreamy retirement was turning his insides into a vast lone. Returning to his empty home, he always felt surrounded by loneliness. One day he saw a recruiting ad. A spark ignited inside him. He was going back to the workplace as an intern, and he was determined to prepare to suited up in a crisp suit, hair slicked back impeccably, recording a job application video that laid bare his eagerness for the role. Soon he received the job offer and was assigned as the boss assistant, but the boss only told him to wait for an email. But for several days, not a peep from the boss about work. Watching busy colleagues made old Ben's sense of duty turn the boss into a bundle of nerves, so he began helping peers, sharing sales tips, and patiently teaching juniors client communication. While others clocked out on time, he stuck around waiting for Anne. No real work yet, but he wasn't letting that get him down. Instead, he charged into each day with energy. Whenever someone needed help, the boss was always eager to lend a hand. Anne started to notice his hunger for work. Finally, one day, the boss' inbox blinked with the first work email. Subtitle: The secretary asked him to get a sample coat from Anne, who was discussing with a partner. Due to rapid company growth, the partner decided to hire a new president to share the workload. For Anne, it felt like handing over her kingdom. Yet, she had to admit that the whirlwind growth made her feel like she was catching her breath, overwhelmed, to say the least. When the boss swung the door open to the meeting room, he sensed the heavy atmosphere but said nothing, grabbing the clothes before making a swift exit. Curious, the secretary asked what was happening inside, but the boss played it cool, knowing the unspoken rule. Some topics were just best left. After work, the boss, packing to leave, glanced up and saw Anne wiping tears in the meeting room. Beneath her tough exterior, it seemed Anne had a heart so fragile that it could shatter. So he decided to chip in however he could. The company had this desk utterly cluttered, spiraling into chaos due to no oversight, becoming Anne's biggest headache. When Anne arrived the next day, that desk was sparkling clean, organized like a well-ordered Tetris game. Colleagues told her the intern boss cleaned at 7 a.m., winning applause. Per company policy, the boss won a massage reward, with a masseuse none other than a lady of his own age, Ophelia. What he never expected was that she'd soon experience a turning point in life, scoring big on both love and career. That day, she just casually glanced outside, only to catch Anne's driver sneaking a sip of booze. At that moment, Anne was gearing up to head down. Though she really shouldn't have interfered, her sense of duty propelled her to chase after the driver. She intended to give the driver an out, but when Anne boarded, he hesitated until the boss gave a warning look. The driver quickly claimed he was unwell and requested a day off. So, it just made sense for the boss to step into the driver's role. Subtitle: Anne's off to meet a new CEO candidate, handling work and mom's calls in the car. The phone buzzed uncontrollably, and the boss thought, wow, this career meeting for Anne is really a big deal. Mere moments after Anne rushed upstairs, the meeting wrapped up. The boss didn't even ask about the work progress. He simply whispered to Anne that he got her chicken soup, and on the return trip, he couldn't help but fret to her partner. She ranted about her job interviewers, but deep down, she knew she was bitter about the thought of others taking control of her company. To this, the boss kept his lips zipped. He knew as a subordinate, she shouldn't speak her mind too freely. Yet, after seeing Anne off at her doorstep, she still couldn't resist voicing her own thoughts. Anne chuckled helplessly, but the boss' words made her reconsider everything. She began reevaluating her worth and abilities. Anne's the classic 90s girl boss, founding this company in her starting with just 25 employees. She had skyrocketed to 220 in just a year and a half. Wow. But all the success came at the cost of being absent for her family. Her husband, Matt, had a high-paying job, but he quit to support Anne, dedicating his time to caring for the kids. But as Anne's career blossomed, time grew scarcer, and family life got all but sidelined. Even in bed, she was glued to her laptop, causing cracks in her relationship with Matt. One late night, the secretary called the previous driver suddenly quit, needing someone to drive Anne. Bright and early the next day, old Ben rang Anne's doorbell, then headed back to the car. But when Matt opened the door, he called him in, inviting him for coffee in typical cheerful fashion. Old Ben hesitated initially, but Matt kept insisting, so out of sheer politeness, he agreed. Anne's daughter was adorable. Though it was their first meeting, she was already smitten with this kind, lovable grandpa. She shared toys with old Ben, but was shocked to see him, thinking had invaded her family space. Though her mouth stayed shut, on the way to work, Anne texted HR, requesting old Ben be shuffled to a different department. I hope you all enjoyed this story. If you want to see more fun content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel.